Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with episode 2 of Ugliest Bathroom Makeover Transformation. In episode 1 we did the demolition. We fixed the pipe that was leaking in the wall. We created a niche in the shower and we went shopping for tiles. So I went to Tile City, Tools Hardware and Active Traders. We got all 3 of the tiles at Active. So today we are going to do the tiling, so you'll get to see all the tiles. This is the tile I picked out at Active. So whenever you're going to tile, the first thing you're going to do after you clear your space is to figure out your pattern. So what I'm doing is that I'm just laying the tiles on the floor just to figure out the pattern that I want. I don't want it plain with all the joints running in a straight line. So what I'm doing is to shift the tiles to create a more interesting pattern. Let me pause for a while. As you can see in the background, the tiling on the wall has started. I ran in a lot of difficulty. I had to stop. The wall was very uneven, so I had to rough render the wall to make it more easier to work on. The wall will be dried in a few days, so in the meantime I'm just working on the floor. So this is the pattern I want, so now I'll just begin. Now I'm mixing the thin set. This is the consistency. I'm using Dyna 600 for porcelain tiles. I'm now pouring the thin set on the floor, after which I'm going to use my trowel to spread it out. As stated before, I'm not a professional tiler, but this is my way of doing it, and I prefer to do it this way because the floor is not like 100% level. So in the meantime I'm tiling, I'm just sort of trying to level the floor. Now I'm using my tile trowel to create some notches in the mortar. So these notches will allow the air to escape when the tile is pressed in the mortar, and it will give the tile a better grip on the floor. As you can see, I'm creating the same notches on the back of the tile. Now I'm just laying the first one down, so after which I'll just use my mallet to slightly tap it down. I'm using a tile cutter to cut the tiles for the sides. I'm just trying to position the tile on the cutter. I'm scoring the line, then I'm gonna apply pressure onto each side of the tile, then I made the cut. There's a space left out for the toilet. My hubby used the grinder to make that cut. I'm scared of that tool. I'm basically repeating the steps I took earlier. I realized that the floor is not as difficult as the wall because the floor is much more leveler and the space is just 30 square feet. As you can see, guys, it's coming along. I only have 2 more pieces of tiles to lay. Guys, I must say that when I was laying these tiles, I made a few mistakes, and in the process I learned a lot of stuff. Further on in the video, when I'm doing the wall, I'll share some of these mistakes with you, so you'll know all about the do's and don'ts about tiling. I'm at the doorway and I'm laying this last tile now, but there's a difficulty, there's a little problem right here. We made a bad cut, so I have to use the hammer and the chisel to get out piece of the wall. So this is the end of day 1, and I'm so happy how the floor turned out. Now I'm going to jump into day 2, where you will hear all about the do's and don'ts about tiling. A few days ago, I started the tiling on a very bad surface. We rough rendered the wall and it is dried and cured now, so I'm expecting to do a much better job today. One recommendation is that if you are going to replace your tiles, make sure that the surface you are going to work on is level. If the surface is not level, you are going to need a lot of thin set to pack behind those tiles. At this time, I'm cutting some tile strips to go around the window. As you can see, I'm trying to shovel some thin set behind the tile to fill out the space behind the tiles before I insert the tile strip. I'm tapping the tiles on the wall with a mallet to even the tiles with the other tiles. My mallet handle is broke, but I'm still using it. So guys, as you work along, you have to clean up. You have to clean the area so that you can see what you're doing. You have to clean away the thin set from the grout line. Clean out the grout line so that you can have space for the grout. I'm now tiling the wall with the pipes in it. This part is a bit technical because we have to cut out the space for the pipes. As you can see, I started the tiling from bottom up. I'm gonna show you how we got this hole in the tile. My hubby used the grinder to cut the hole. Now I'm measuring and marking the space for the holes for the pipe. So what I did was to screw off one of the handles, and now I'm using it as a little template to get the perfect size for the hole. We did not buy a lot of tiles for any mistakes, so I just want to ensure that that cut is perfect, so I'm measuring again before we make the cut. So he's cutting now, guys. So when you're cutting for the circle, this is the only, if you're going to use a grinder, this is how you're going to cut it. You're going to cut it in a square shape. So when you're cutting, guys, do not cut too deep. So you start cutting, and as long as you see that little hole, this little hole right there, that's where you stop. Do not cut any further. So that is how you're going to cut. So you cut the 4 sides, and after completing the cut now, you will use a chisel and a hammer to just lightly tap out the hole. So this is how it should look on the other side of the tile. So now you'll just use your chisel and a hammer. This is a wooden chisel. One tap, lightly tap, and the tile is out. So after which you could just use your chisel and to just shape up those little sides. I'm testing the tile now to see if it's going to fit in the space. And this is another recommendation, guys. You have to do this before you put any thin set on the tile, because if the cut is wrong, you will have to scrape off the thin set and start again. As you work along, guys, remember to clean your grout lines. Don't allow the thin set to be dried in between those lines. You have to keep them clean for the grout, especially if you are not using any spacers. Now I'm tiling the niche shower area. So this is a tile I'm using for the bottom of the shower and the niche. So the same steps I took while working on the window, I'm going to do the same thing on the niche here. I'm going to add some black tile strips around the niche area. Okay, let me add this most important tip. Make sure you have your PPEs and keep them on. Ladies, wear your gloves. I took off my gloves several times and the thin set literally burst my fingers. Another recommendation, guys, for working with the tile strips, you can tape them up, that is, tape them in place so that they can set, or use some sticks to brace them. As soon as they are set, you can remove the tapes and the sticks. Now I'm working on the shower floor, guys. So it's basically the same process I took when I was doing the floor. The only difference is that you have to leave a slope. Do not leave a visible slope. And you should not let the slope be too steep, because with the water you can slide. And always remember to clean your grout lines. Don't let the thin set dry in the grout lines. After completing the shower floor, I did the toe wall. Guys, I must say that was the hardest part of the tiling. I thought the niche was hard, but the toe wall was so difficult, guys. I could remember a particular tile was falling off the toe wall because I did not secure it. I had to go outside for a block to brace the tile so that it can set. I must say thumbs up to all the good tilers out there. The tiler who placed these tiles on the wall before I took them down, he did a very, very good job. This is about 3 days after the tiling, so now I'm about to apply the grout. So earlier I went ahead and cleaned the grout lines again because I want the grout to sit in between the tiles. Now I'm applying the white grout on the wall, and I'll be applying the gray grout on the floor. Thank you guys for watching this episode. If you are enjoying the makeover series, help me out by leaving a thumbs up. Look out for episode 3. Continue to watch to the end and you'll get to see the final look. And bye guys, I'll see you in the next episode.